G'day everyone, Paul Stoner, CEO Biggin & Scott, and we're joined today by Dean Bozunovic from the Frankston Seafood office.
Yep.
We're talking December.
Yep.
We're now middle of January, but
Yeah.
we're talking December. Congratulations, you were Salesperson of the Month for December.
Thanks, Paul.
So you had a good build up to the end of the year.
Yep.
And is that flowing through for the next year?
I hope so. But on the face of it...
It's a big step, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But on the face of it, the short answer is yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, pipeline's looking good and
Yeah.
talking to plenty of people, so we'll see.
Well, you got a new motivation. Dean got married during the Christmas break, so
I did.
You can all send you congratulations. And
Absolutely.
ask him
And
for advice.
presents.
Ask him for some advice. But in all seriousness, it seems to me everybody's had the 3 weeks off. So they've had Christmas. They've all started coming back on the 16th.
Yep.
Agents in particular are all back after next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So is it, and we're just talking about this off screen a bit, does it seem to you like there is a slow build-up coming and there's going to be stock is the big one that everybody wants to know about?
I actually think so, yeah. So, like I was sort of just mentioning to Paul off camera, is what I'm finding is a lot of my prospective vendors are actually reaching out to me, and even prospective buyers. Like I had a text earlier, literally on the way here, just on a property that I've got off market. So I've actually got plenty. I feel brewing, which is really bizarre. So it's been really quiet, but now what I'm finding is the tide is slowly turning as far as prospective vendors wanting to do something or buyers wanting to do something. So I think we just went through a real funny period. So
So that's really interesting to me because what that means to me is for everybody watching, just get on the phones and follow up all of your appraisals pre-Christmas because there was a reason that you did them.
Yep.
And they want to know what's going on, and if they're calling you, that's a really interesting dynamic because usually it's us
the other way
calling them,
around,
and
for sure. Yep.
So there's definitely a what's the market doing at the moment, opportunity to talk to people and to own that relationship. So it's I'm sure it motivated you to get on the phones and call a few others.
Definitely.
Yeah. So January will be average as always, but it looks like there'll be a stock build up for Feb.
For sure.
You're hoping?
But even stock levels for January, because I like personally, as a team, we listed pretty strong in December.
Yeah.
A lot of those properties I actually launched this week as well. So I'm hoping that January will actually still shape up to be okay.
Yeah, right.
And then I've got stuff coming on in Feb as well. And that's just obviously from a personal level.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen in the wider market. So.
Yeah, interesting. So what are you finding? Because you're very big on private sales, and are you finding that as soon as you launch them, there's quite a few inquiries? So is it still that push? The market's pushing it a bit.
I wonder if it's priced right, Paul.
Yeah, right.
Literally. So that's what we're finding, and and I guess during my setup to sales with my vendors, I've actually been saying to them, look, this is what we're kind of anticipating, this is what we're hoping for. Yeah. And I guess just letting them know what the expectations are from the beginning, because if it's priced right, you'll actually get inquiry straight away pretty much. So that's what we're finding.
So then am I right in saying you're spending a little bit more time on the presentation to win the business, and within that presentation pricing is a major part of it, or are you doing two-stepped?
Pretty much two-steps. So obviously it depends on the prospective vendor if I already have a relationship with them or not. Yeah. But if I'm going in fresh, cold, like yes, I always spend quite a long time in the pitch anyway, but probably a little bit longer these days. Yeah. And if I win the business, it's actually during the setup to sell that is actually taking longer because I'm actually really setting down some... Yeah. I guess just expectations.
Yeah, but again, I haven't sat through one of your presentations. I don't have spare 3 hours, but
not quite. About 2, but yeah.
No, but you'd be doing what we've been talking about in the senior training, which is more storytelling. Give them examples of what's going to happen from here.
Definitely.
So there's no surprises, and people want to. Because they don't get to do it too often. They want to have an idea of the paths that it may take. So Dean spends his time doing that, and but I'm joking because Luke said to me, Dean's presentations do take a while, but you're spending the time at
But
the
I'm only
right
doing what
part.
Luke taught me anyway.
But you're spending your time in the right areas because when I come out and say, forget all the tools at the moment. It's voice and contact and so forth. You actually do that. So instead of like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You say, right, I'll adjust it. I'll spend more time in that area, and that's exactly what everybody needs to be doing, adjusting to the market. Whether it's sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, but you do it. So pricing takes a lot longer. You reckon than it did?
For sure. So when I go through that, that's I guess what we call the value part of our presentation.
Yep.
That part is definitely taking longer because we're actually kind of going through each property going, well, this is what this one had.
Yeah.
How do you think that one compares to yours and
Yep.
all the rest of it? So really trying to get the prospective vendor to think about it.
Yeah. Is there much pushback?
People, to a degree, it depends. Like some vendors are still living in 2021.
Yeah.
But by and large, a lot of people have actually realised, hey, you can't have this many consecutive rate rises without an impact. So I think most of them now are starting to come to terms with the fact that things have wound back and they are becoming a lot more realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because the same motivations are there, up, down,
100%.
bank, the whole lot.
For sure.
So it comes down to price, but sometimes it ultimately comes down to have to sell.
Definitely.
And
Yep.
okay, well that's good. So where do you, apart from the presentation and price, are you spending more time with your on-market listings, holding their hand on the way through? So there's more longer calls after opens during the week and just contact. Good boy.
Definitely.
Good boy.
Definitely. So, vendor reports are obviously just something that we just, have always done, but even more so now, is just really making sure that you send through the vendor reports and actually having conversations with the vendors on a, at minimum once a week, if not more. So, I'd probably speak to my vendors on average at least, I'd say 3 times a week, at least.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so it's, and we went through this last year where I said, put away, still use the tools. The tools make you look good, but the reality is the phone is your friend at the moment. You need to be talking to people about what's happened, what's going to happen, what you've seen happen with other properties. And it's it's a high contact game at the moment, where we had no contact for a while. This is a high contact game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, great. Anything you've adjusted other than those things to be listing at the moment?
I don't think so, Paul.
No.
I think just kind of tweaking the presentation, obviously just doubling down on the vendor reports between myself and Jake.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Dan's very clever at acknowledging what's happening in any of those given weeks or months. So is prepared to adjust during the presentation, probably because your presentation is quite rigid. You pick it up pretty quickly because you're not getting the right answers.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. So it's it happens.
Yep.
But Dean's been in sales for a long time, so he understands how to read the room as well and respond to things. So phone is good. You're finding that's your friends.
Definitely
Tools.
phone and face-to-face.
Am I right about tools at the moment? They're just there to back you up.
Yeah. When you say tools, in what way?
Oh, just so text messages. Trying to impress them with Facebook ads and all that sort of stuff.
So if you're talking about prospective vendors, obviously it's always. I always feel that a phone call or face to face you can never beat. But at the same time, I use WhatsApp a lot. So for every single listing that I have, I actually set up a WhatsApp group, and then I set expectations around that as well. And that happens during. It depends on the vendor, but generally it's shortly after I've listed the property, but everyone's journey from list to on market is different.
Yeah.
But generally it's after I've listed the property, so at least that way I say, hey, as we discussed, these are some of the key dates. So I'm kind of always pushing them along in terms of, okay, well, this is what we discussed, here are some of the key dates, because there's nothing like a date to work towards, I find.
Sure.
So yeah, the WhatsApp group I find is really, really helpful, but it's always a phone call.
Yeah, good advice. Mate, congratulations on a good year last year.
Thanks.
Congratulations on getting married.
Thank you.
And hopefully we're looking at a great year, although it will be a high contact year. So this is contact sport at the moment.
It is indeed.
As you say, lots of face-to-face. You've got to be touchy-feely and earn or own that relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't come by just being a real estate agent at the moment. So thanks for watching, everyone. Congratulations, Dean.
Thanks, Paul.
Welcome to Mercedes-Benz Toorak. Here at the Home of Luxury, our friendly and knowledgeable team are here to showcase and demonstrate to you the Mercedes-Benz of your dreams. With a remarkable range of demonstrator vehicles here on site in Toorak, why would you choose to buy your next Mercedes-Benz anywhere else? Bookings are essential to secure your VIP test drive experience this weekend, so reach out now. We look forward to welcoming you to Mercedes-Benz Toorak, the Home of Luxury.